Today we're going to be taking a look at the Arylic UP2STREAM Amp board. This is a powerful wireless streaming amplifier compatible with all of your favorite streaming services. Capable of whole home audio, EQ, and even DSP. Arylic sent this board to me for review with no strings attached. They also sent over a set of their drivers, which I'll be using in my upcoming build. I'll be using them in a 3-way studio monitor style build. There are several builds out there now using their AMT and their woofer, so I'm excited to see what we can do by adding a dome mid-range to the mix. But that's upcoming, so for now, let's get back to the UP2STREAM amp board. I'm going to cover all the basic functionality of the board, cover the quick setup process, and measure the EQ on a set of real speakers to find out what kind of changes we can make inside the app. And yes, there is an app. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I can get a little discouraged when I hear about the need for an app. I probably shouldn't say need, as there is an optional IR remote control, but I've actually found the app very easy to use and far more convenient since I can control the device from anywhere in my home. Now the board is available as both a DIY board or a fully finished plug-and-play device. I was sent the board itself, so let's go ahead and whip up a little pedestal for it to live on for now. I'm going to keep this very simple. I don't really want to encase the board just yet, and there's a good reason. I mentioned that this is capable of whole home audio. In this scenario, we could stack the boards and make a powerful yet compact whole home system. We can easily connect the boards to our Wi-Fi network and control them all together, or assign each of them to a specific room. We can also run the amplifiers in mono mode for a more complete listening experience. This is because in a larger room, it may not be possible to get a good stereo image from speakers that are far apart, so running in mono would solve that problem. Now that our board is ready to use, let's first take a look at what we need to power it. Arylic says this will run on 12 to 26 volts. I'm going to borrow my 24 volt Fozzy power supply. Stated power ratings are 50 watts by 2 at 4 ohms and 100 watts by 1 at 4 ohms. All of these ratings are at 24 volts, so no problem there. When we power the board on, we'll go ahead and open up the UP2STREAM app and it will begin searching for the device. Once it finds the device, it will walk you through the Wi-Fi connection. Just a few clicks and I'm set up on my network. After this, we can set up our board or boards by assigning them different names for rooms and configuring them in mono or stereo. After this, we can sign into our favorite streaming services and get the music going. Supported apps include AirPlay, Spotify Connect, Bluetooth 5.0, DLNA, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, Deezer, Qobuz, TuneIn, and Internet Radio, decoding up to 192 kHz at 24 bits, supporting FLAC, MP3, AAC, AAC+, ALAC, APE, and the WAVE lossless audio format. Now, in many cases, a device like this will be used to run things like in-ceiling speakers or wall-mounted speakers. These are usually in places where they can fit or are out of the way, and not where they'll sound the best. So I feel that the EQ function may be pretty useful in these cases. To see what kind of difference we can make with EQ, I'm going to set up an ELAC speaker and play with the in-app controls while I measure the frequency response. Taking a look at the real-time sweeps, we can see that at a maximum in the bass we get a 10 dB boost and at a minimum a 10 dB cut. This should mean that for each of the 5 steps we get a plus or minus of 2 dB. The bass looks to be centered around 200 to 250 Hz. Taking a look at the treble, it's the same story of plus or minus 10 dB in 2 dB steps. The treble looks to be centered around 3 kHz. All of this means pretty good flexibility for different loading scenarios in corners and ceilings, or simply to correct for voicing in a traditional 2-channel setup. For more advanced hobbyists, the board is compatible with APC Workbench, which is Arylic's own DSP software. I don't have a project to test this on right now, but I'll be coming back to that in the future. Aside from Wi-Fi connectivity, we have Bluetooth, 3.5mm line in, micro USB in, Ethernet in, and SPDIF and analog outputs. This gives the board a ton of flexibility for different applications. This could be used for desktop or even integrated into a pair of speakers for a fully active, wireless streaming DSP controlled speaker. To get a sense of the amplifier's capability, I set it up as part of a typical 2-channel hi-fi system, streaming from Qobuz into a pair of Arylic Debut 5.2s. These are a nominal 6 ohm with a sensitivity of 86 dB. At idle, there is no audible noise, and at full volume, they sound great. There's nothing to complain about here, and with the low 86 dB sensitivity, the amp drives them to usable levels with the 24 volt power supply. If I wanted to shape the sound, I could open the app and dial them in until content. I was easily able to get good imaging, solid bass response, and smooth treble. I don't see this amplifier having any trouble with small to medium-sized rooms with reasonably efficient speakers. Overall, this is an impressive little board. The functionality is pretty crazy given its size and cost. There aren't a ton of easy-to-use products out there like this that can compete at this price point. I'm actually pretty excited to see how I can use the DSP in a future speaker build. I'll leave a link to the board in the description below for you to check out. This is not an affiliate link, and I will make no money if you make a purchase. If you're interested in seeing the 3-way studio monitor build using Arylic's own drivers, go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next build.